Hello and welcome to episode 8 of Fresh 60 Fresh Server. Today's a big episode because yesterday we finally did it. We finally made it to our end goal of starting to make 291 legendaries. We even had our first sale yesterday. Um, Everything started moving in the right direction, and today we're just going to continue on that. We have a goal here to make at least 1,000,000 gold, just to show you guys that it's not that difficult. The other goal is to set ourselves up in a way to where we can make more and more and more gold each day, just to make those goals come a little bit faster, right? So we are just going to get right into it today, and we're going to start our day. First thing I always do, as you know, is I do the covenant tables, because they are an absolute gold mine. Obviously, it's more of a gold mine of, getting the gold and getting the other stuff to sell, or whatever the case may be, if you have more than one character. It's not going to be that big for us, because we literally only have one character. But, even this, 50, 60 gold on top of selling this to the vendor, on top of getting gold, it all just adds up. It is really good when you have numerous characters. Alright, so yesterday something happened. Obviously, you saw us make legendaries, you even saw the first sell, and that was awesome and fantastic. Well, after I got done making the video yesterday, something happened. We sold another one. Well, because I saw that we sold another one, I'm like, I'm not going to wait until tomorrow to restock. I need to restock. But as you saw yesterday, we restocked, and I only had like 2k gold left. Well, I couldn't make another one unless I got some of the gold out of the auction house. So if you remember that we farmed the Warbear leather, I ended up having to take like the almost 9k gold from that, just so that I had enough gold to craft another legendary. So we had at least 2 legendaries sell, and I also took 8k out of the mailbox, almost 9k out of the mailbox that would have been in there today. But let's check the mailbox and see how we did. First of all, let's grab the expireds, which again, it's going to be a lot of that desolate gear that doesn't seem to be selling on this server, but that's fine, because the way the TSM's set up, it's not really an issue. It just means I won't be recrafting it. So if you look, we actually had another one sell, looks like. So here's one legendary, at 20k, so that's like 10k profit. We had the thread, which I will talk about that, because I have an idea of something to add on to this, just to show you guys some of those little things that if you do it, believe it or not, will help make you, maybe 1,000, maybe more a day, just extra. That's super easy. It's brain dead. It's all those little things between that and the covenant tables and so on and so forth that add up to equal good profits every single day. Especially with the way the economy is right now, with the way that the market is working or not working for you. It's those kind of things that are going to allow us to make more gold. Anyway, let's go through it. I accidentally sold some desolate leather because of the way that I had things set up. I didn't actually want to sell that, so that's frustrating. We could always get more. Let's see, going down, and here's our 2 other ones. So we started making legendaries yesterday, and I sold 3. We sold 3 legendaries on our first day, all of which at 10k or more profit. That is awesome. So we go from that measly like 15k or something that we had to start yesterday, and we get to grab 82k, and it would have been more. Again, I grabbed about 9k already, so it really would have been about 90k that we were grabbing. Not all of that is profit, but boom, look at that, we're already at 82k. Everything's going well. So what's the first thing that we should do? I want everybody to say it to yourself. If you're following along, say it to yourself. What is the first thing you do? We just gathered our expireds, we just gathered our gold. We need to check and see what our missions are for today. I was told that Storm the Fae is really easy. I hate that place, but because of that one specific comment, I think I'm going to go out there and try it and just see how quick Storm the Maw is, and I'm probably going to regret it. But before we do that, we got to get things back on the auction house, right? So we're going to post this stuff, and then we need to do a restock. because we had legendaries sell and we need to restock. And yeah, let's go ahead and hearth and we'll get after it. We are back at the auction house. Asking a question for everybody today. When I got on, TSM completely bricked for me. Like, I lost my groups, I lost everything. I had to spend the majority of the morning recreating everything, setting up a new profile, setting new operations, setting new mailing like, it was an absolute pain in the butt. And of course, I'm that person. I didn't make a backup to my settings or anything, so I lost everything. So everything is like remade. I have to go through, and yeah, it's an absolute disaster on my main server. So I do have at least some groups remade. Now let's go ahead and post these. I'm also having an issue just doing the general post, because I've noticed as let's see, go here to auction, let's go into post scan. And as I go through here, some things I'll notice, like, it'll say that I don't have competition and I should post it at my normal price. But on my main server, like, I'll know that I canceled that item because I did have competition, you know? So, like, there's some weird things going on with TSM. The overall speed at which it does any sort of scanning right now seems to be getting worse. I've noticed that myself, as much as I love TSM, especially using the task list and getting all that kind of stuff set up, I'm noticing that I'm honestly using Auctionator a lot right now, because and honestly sitting here and posting, and I lost my stuff for this too yesterday, but I can go in and just fix that. Like, since I'm posting a lot of gear, one of the things I can do is I can go into my interface add-ons. Let's go into Auctionator, and I can say, like, at base, let's see, where's it at? And apparently, oh, there we go. Default auction duration. Let's just set the default to 12 for the moment. Most items I sell are going to be gear, and I run a lot of cancel scans, and I want the deposit to be lower, so I want 12 hours. However, this is one of those cases where this is a transmog. Transmog, I'll put it on for longer just because of it's not often that you're going to be consistently undercut on transmog. But any of actually, this is transmog too. That's a random item. Okay, here we go. Here's our normal crafted stuff. So, you know, with this stuff, like, I only want it for 12 hours because I'm going to be coming back to cancel scan this kind of stuff anyway. So this is not fast, as you can tell, but I'm getting kind of tired of waiting for TSM lately. So everything has been posted. So now we just need to go in here and hope that my groups and stuff are working correctly. I had to make a lot of changes this morning. So yep, that worked correctly. So it's going to show our 235, 291, and the other 235. We are not going to craft those. I actually need to just go in and set those to 0. I don't ever want to craft those. Regardless, this is our crafting for today. We have a 291. We have the 287s. Not exactly a whole lot, which is great though, because I mean we have the legendary selling, and that's all that really matters, right? So let's go ahead and probably farm this myself, but I'm lazy. Desolate 161. Sometimes this is wrong. I'll gather just a little bit extra. We need our heavy desolate 19. Essentia. Need 2. That's a good price. Get 2, and the pelts, I need 40. On top of that, I need 10 thread, which I'm honestly probably just gonna get from the auction house, because I don't have the rep and I don't feel like sending money over. So they're about a gold extra per, so I'm losing out on 10 gold here. And then shards. Probably shouldn't have typed in shard. Oh, there we go. And I need 30. There we go. Everything bought. Let's craft real quick. Didn't spend all that much. Open. This will just craft the 3 marks that we need. Crafted. Just hit craft next. There we go. Restock complete. So something I was thinking about that we're going to have to do is we're going to have to... Obviously, if I sold 3 legendaries on the first day at this much profit, I should probably find other legendaries worth selling. So let's do a little bit of research. Let's go in. We're going to look at... Actually, yeah, let's look at mail. And let's check on other... One, we can see how many auctions are just to kind of give an idea. Like this one, the treads are at 3.96, which is pretty good, and there's only 9 up. Let's see, what else has a good amount? That's really good. The waist guard as well. But you see there's a lot of competition on the waist guard. A lot of competition on it. So I might go for the treads first, just because there's less people I have to fight with to make a sell. So mill treads, pretty good. Let's run into leather. Leather, we're going down. Waist guard again. Still pretty decent amount available. But I think our next one that we're going to do, granted this is really, really high region average sold. I kind of want to do this one. Let's go back to the mail. Got it again. Yeah, what the mail treads and then the waist guard for leather is kind of what I think I want to go into. So, again, we can go into, let's just go into this way. Oops, not shadow scale, it's up here, yeah. So here's our leather, and we wanted to make the waist guard, correct? Lace guard's pretty easy. I think I'm going to spend some time here, and I'm going to get this up to at least rank 4 and make 1 legendary real quick. Alright, the crafting is done on that. Took us about, like, what, 35,000 gold, something like that, to be able to get up to the point of making a 291 and crafting a 291. So that's not too bad. Let's go ahead and get... I'm only going to post, like, 1 of each of these, and I'm going to delete the rest. Just because if they sell, great. If they don't, whatever, I'll just delete them anyway. So here's that 291 at about 24,000. We now have 3 different types of legendaries up on the market, so that's pretty cool. I don't even think I can sell these as vendors, so we're just going to delete these. And before we get about our business, let's go ahead and run a cancel scan just to make sure nobody jumped under me. Just going through the cancel scan. Only a couple things I really need to take down. All I really care about is the legendaries, but that's the other thing I've liked. I swear in that amount of time... Ooh, that actually came down in price a little bit. In that amount of time on my main server, like, I would have absolutely been undercut already. It is hard to sell that kind of stuff over there. I really don't want... Not just that, it's only like 2 to 3k profit. It's really hardly worth the time. Sitting on the auction house with multiple legendaries to sell, if they're at like 10k profit, that's worth, right? Like, you sell one and that's a 10k hour. If you can sell like multiple in a day, like you're doing pretty well. So anyway, there's a quick scan. There's a quick sell. We're at 40k now. We were at like 80k, but that's fine. You got to reinvest your gold. You can't be afraid to put your gold back into what you're trying to do, as long as you know that the profits are there. I know that when those sell, I will make gold. It's worth it, right? So the other thing I want to do is I'm going to start something on this server as well, just to show you guys how powerful it is. So I'm going to send that bank alt I have. I'm going to send him like 5k to start. Is that 5k? No, another 0. I'm going to send him 5k to start and show you real quick. It's something I'm going to add on every day, and I'm essentially going to treat it like my covenant tables, and I'm going to do it every day, just so you guys can start seeing after a week, after whatever, just how strong it is. And it's pretty brain dead. So I will be right back. So you can see I'm on that other tune, that goblin I made, and I have a whopping 5,000 gold basically that I sent over. I would really like to not send, well, I mean, I might have to send over to buy some thread, but I'll just be a little bit more exact about how much I want to get. I don't want to really use any other gold other than what this character has, and all we're going to do, because this character gets the discount, is we are going to do what I had talked about before, and I'm going to buy thread. Now, you need to have some to be able to post. I don't know how much I need, so I'm going to leave, let's leave about 600. That should be good. Let's buy, for today, let's buy 500 thread, and we are going to post it. And I'm only going to check on this thread about the times I do my covenant. So, like, on days that I'm not working or whatever, that's usually 2 times a day. Actually, even when I am working, I might be able to do it 2 times a day. But basically, when I do my tables or when I'm doing my auctions, I will also flip over here, see if everything's sold. If the money is in the auction house, great. If not, then I won't do anything. But like here, selling at 950, you're literally making, granted this is down from what it was, so you're making what, like 70 silver per, so really plus the auction house cut, you're making less than that. But regardless, you make gold by doing this, right? So total price 4,750, right? 4,750 I think is what the total price was, plus getting back the deposit. You'll end up just making gold just by doing that. I'll get it to a point of where I buy maybe about 1,000, because you don't want to not have it sell, because then if it doesn't sell, I believe, you're going to lose that deposit. You lose that deposit, all of a sudden it's really easy to start losing money. So I'll keep it at a small amount, and I'll get up to about 1,000 at a time. But if you just flip 1,000 of this at a time on the auction house, it's amazing how that just adds up in a few hundred gold. So we're going to try that. One of the better options is the shards, like I talked about. And I've been doing on my main server. Granted, they were up to like 114, so it was a fantastic time to do it. So it really depends on the price. So something you got to keep in mind is that there's a 5% auction house cut. So with Exalted, you can buy these for 100. And that also means that essentially, approximately, if you sold these at 105, you're going to lose a little over 5 gold on that, right? You're actually going to lose money. So at this rate, selling them at 108, 109, you're only making, 3-4 gold per, but you're still making 3-4 gold per. So as long as you can guarantee they sell, so maybe you don't buy a large amount of them, it's one of those small things that just add up. Again, when I saw it yesterday, it was at like 114. So instead, my warrior has Exalted out in Ardenweald, so he can actually buy these at 100. So what I did is, instead of sending over, he had like 120,000 gold. Instead of like sending that over to my bank wallet or something, I just spent like 80k at the vendor buying shards. I bought like 600, 800 shards or whatnot. And then I sent those shards over to my bank, and I just like only sold a couple hundred at a time to try to like make sure they sold. That way I made sure they sold and made me profit. So that's kind of how I moved over gold on that character. Instead of sending over gold, I put all that gold into shards and just made sure I was selling these shards a little bit at a time at a profit. At the end, eventually when they all sold, it made even more gold than what I sent over. So that's something else you can do. That's something else I've decided to do, because on my main server, all those extra characters tend to build a lot of gold between callings and covenant tables. I'm probably just going to send that money over to my warrior, have my warrior go buy some shards, and then just sell the shards at profit on the auction house to slowly build gold. But you do have to be careful, because these have a giant deposit. So I would be careful with how much you put at a time. But, in a situation like this, if you just put up 100 here and there every time you're checking on your bank vault, oh, did that 100 sell? Cool, let me add another 100, and then just make sure you don't cancel it. So anyway, just something to do. But I can't do that on this character. What I'm going to do on this character right now is just do thread. And it should sell. And you know what? The worst case scenario is I do this and we start losing gold, and I go, okay, that didn't work. Nobody else do it, right? So it should work out just fine, though. You get into those weird situations where somebody like puts thousands and thousands and thousands ahead of you, and then you can get screwed. And that's kind of why I would just keep it to a minimum. For me, I'm going to do about 1,000 thread at a time. Obviously, if you're able to sell more at a time, you make more gold back if it all sells. So it's kind of just playing, that hit and miss game of what's too much, what's too little. I'm going to go up to about 1,000. So anyway, I will check on that later. Something else you should work on is I just moved back over to the main, and it's only been 5 to 10 minutes at max. I'm gonna cancel scan always, because if I'm not the cheapest, especially on something worth this much, guess what? It's not mine that sells. So that, and I don't have a lot of items up here, so it's really quick just to take a minute, make sure that I don't have to cancel a 291, and it looks like we're all set. So off to work. So here I am doing Storm the Maw, because somebody said it was quick and easy. I remember where a couple of the rares were. I don't have like any add-on or anything telling me, so I'm kind of just going based off of memory in hopes that I can find them. Furnace, it says Elite, but no, that's for a quest. He's not a rare, right? Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to run around here for a minute and just see how easy it is to get this quest done. Remember there's one over here that was like killed all the time. Let's see if he's there. So I finished it. That took me like 7 minutes, which I guess isn't too bad, but I don't know, man. It's still the maw. So as I'm flying back to turn this in, I wanted to ask you guys, there was a comment in a previous video that, basically just said they liked how I added in the farming, the warbear leather specifically yesterday. And, that made me think, it's like, yeah, I've thought about doing, like, farming specific videos, but I don't know if those are good as a mix-in, like with this character, as in a day like today, not a lot to do, we kind of did our crafting, maybe you have a covenant quest to do, or excuse me, like a calling to do, but other than that, like, I don't have to do anything on this character. I could honestly spend more time just cancel scanning, making sure that if a legendary sells, it's mine, and that will probably be the best money, to be honest, especially now that we have 3 available. If one sells, I just go ahead and recraft it, that kind of thing. So should I keep the videos a little bit longer and add in farms, just supplement the gold a little bit more, or should I guess, let me rephrase this. Should I add that in for this character on a farm that he can do, like Warbear or something, and just do an extra farm and add it in for you guys? Or should I make more dedicated videos? One, because I think those will get, honestly, more clicks, more views if I, talk about my top farms or my top underrated farms or something like that, where I do a video, maybe that I specify one of them, like Warbear, like if I can, make good gold off of, the Cobra scales or whatever else I decide to do. Should that be included in this, or should that be its own separate thing? I kind of feel like stuff like that should be its own separate thing, unless I am very specifically trying to get the items on this character. You know what I mean? Anyway, let me know what you think. I do think that this episode is going to stop here, and the reason why is this is my goal as a gold maker. I like crafting, and it got obliterated with this patch, but legendaries in the right market still good. We see this. Some of you have even mentioned that, hey, I'm starting to sell legendaries. Like legendaries can still be good if you're on a server that's good for it. My goal, and it was my goal prior, is getting myself to the point of honestly playing the least amount as possible to make gold. Not because I don't like the game or anything, it's just I don't want it to be 12 hours of just doing this, doing that, then grinding things out, then farming, then like obviously I can go out and spend the whole rest of the day farming. It's still morning, I can go out and farm something and absolutely make more gold. But that was never really the point, unless I really felt like it. The point was getting to a time where I can go through and craft and make my gold that way. Meaning do my covenant tables, do callings when they line up, such as tomorrow. Tomorrow for sure we will be doing Revendreth. I'm hoping the one that drops tomorrow is another one that can be done with Revendreth. That way we can do 2 at once. If not, whatever. Regardless, I will make sure, specifically because this is a character where it's only this character on the server, so I'm going to do Revendreth tomorrow, regardless. Like on my main server, I do not go out and do just one calling on all 15 characters. It's just, that's not going to happen. I do it on like my 4, usually 4. I usually do it on like my 4 like main quote-unquote characters, the characters that have a lot of rep and a lot of stuff like that. I will go out and do it on those 4, but other than that, I am not going to, do one calling on 15 characters. Not going to happen. So anyway, I'm being a bit long-winded, sorry. My goal is to just do covenant tables, do callings if they're available, and restock, and that's about it. That's how I want to make my gold. I mean, really, like, you only need about 7k a day in order. Well, now it's a little bit higher than that. Let's actually see what it's at. It dropped. It went high, like to 218 or something yesterday, and it dropped. Now it's back up to 219. I saw it last night when I got off at like 204. It's going really up and down. I'm just hoping here in a couple weeks that it falls to a point where I'm comfortable buying. I'm hoping it doesn't go up massively. Kind of feel like I should be buying in sooner rather than later, but that's a different story. So even at this amount, you can make somewhere like 8,000 a day and cover a token. Well, that's really easy. Between tables, especially if you do your calling every time, between tables, between calling, and a little bit of sales, like that's very, very, very easy to cover. So that's really my goal, is I want to make a bit more than that minimum. I would like to typically make, if it's one character, 2 to 3 tokens a month, right? Like that's to me like a nice sweet spot. And that kind of means like I want somewhere around 15,000 profit a day. But right now, if I sold one legendary, that's 10k profit by itself on top of the other stuff we do. If I sell more than one in a day, obviously there's going to be days where I don't sell any, I'm aware of that, but making some profit and then turning that and throwing it back into the profession if it's working. And like today, now we can make 3 different legendaries instead of 2. That means we have more chances to net a sell. So right now, especially if that works and I sell one of those today or something, I'll know, cool, pick another item that sells frequently, let's make it, let's do it, let's invest, because it's going to help us get to a point of making more per day. But anyway, that's how I like to play, is I like to do kind of the minimum. Do things that are kind of like your maintenance work, like guaranteeing that you get something, meaning tables and callings, and then supplementing that with either farming, kind of like we did at the beginning of this. I didn't have the ability to make gold with legendaries, so I made sure I did an hour farm. So either supplementing it with farming, or especially if legendaries are working and if I'm making good profit, just supplementing it with that, and that's it. And then this character's done. I could either go play what I want, play something else, level another character, whatever you want, I can go do and just make sure I'm doing some cancel scans here and there. So that's my style of play. I don't know if everybody else is like that, but that's how I like it. I like it easy, right? I just want to make my gold and move on. That's about it. But anyway, that's going to be the end of today's episode. Thank you everybody for watching. Let me know what I can do better. Let me know what you'd like to see. Please like, comment, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. You guys have been killing the comments lately. I've already starting to think, I'm like, man, this is going to get to a point where I'm not going to be able to talk to everybody, and I like to do that. I like to be able to, if you say something, let you know that, hey, I am reading what you're saying, all that kind of stuff. I'm like, man, we're going to get to a point where I'm not going to be able to do that. Channel is already at, here, I'll do a quick double check while we're sitting here. I'm already at 368 subs. I find that amazing. I don't know about you guys, but I've only been doing this for 3 weeks in a very niche market of WoW gold making. To have that much support already, it means a lot to me and tells me that I should keep doing it. So with that, I will see you guys in tomorrow's video. All I'm going to do for the rest of the day is both this and my main server cancel scan a few times. I might even head back now. I'm just going to cancel scan a few times, and that's about it. There's not much else going on today. I can add in farms, but I think those are better off for a separate video. So, with that, you guys, I will see you in the next one.